Hey there guys, McFlurry here, back here with another video, and today I'm going to do a re-ranking of my Monsterverse movies. Now, I already made a video like this, but I want to do an update because I got a special surprise in this new Monsterverse, a new addition to the King Kong and Godzilla collection, and a new addition to the Monsterverse collection. And my movie collection as well, as I guess you could say, DVD and Blu-ray and all that stuff. But, this is a re-ranking video because Godzilla vs. Kong is out now, and I would like to do a re-ranking. I already reviewed Godzilla vs. Kong. Go check that review out on the channel. And I decided to re-rank them, not only because GVK is out, but also I wanted to go into full detail about why I like the movies, and I'm going to make another Monsterverse ranking video, which would feature me ranking the fight scenes. So yeah, I'm only counting the main fight scenes, the most well-known, well-talked about ones, not like the ones that are well, the iconic ones, mostly. So yeah, there's that, and I got my Neca Godzilla 2019 here, and my Playmates Fighter Jet Kong here. You guys never saw this guy yet, but here he is. He's a new addition, and I'm planning on getting Mecha Godzilla and maybe Warbat too. So yeah, there's that. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the ranking. Here, I'm gonna go from kind of good to best movie in the Monsterverse. This warning, I'm going to be focusing on the positives because in my opinion that's what you guys like to do. That's how it should be to me. And it's best to ignore the problems and enjoy these movies for what they are, and it leads you to having a good time with the movies, and another thing, this is my opinion, my own personal opinion, my perspective, on the movies. So yeah, here we go. Let's get on with the ranking, and of course, without further ado, let's start off with number 4 at 4th place, which is the one that started it all, Godzilla 2014. Now, you see here, this is the 2-disc special edition here. It says right there, includes bonus disc loaded with special features. So, about this movie, you all know my experience with this movie, but we're not gonna, that's in the past now. This is this generation now. And the thing about this movie, you have to go into it like it's something else. It's not your typical Godzilla movie. You have to go into it as it is something else, or else you're not really going to enjoy this movie that much. And you have to look at it, it's a Godzilla movie, but it's differently, not even it plays tribute to the 1954 film in a way, but even then, it's still very different, because 1954 had mostly, fictionality and fantasy to it, but also had a dark, gritty tone. It was a dark movie. It kind of had a dark side to it, and the message was there and that stuff, and this kind of like the 1954 of the Monsterverse. I can agree with that, but we all can admit it does not come close to that movie in terms of story wise and that stuff, the message and all that stuff, the dark and greedy atmosphere. If you look at this the way Gareth Edwards intended it to be, you have to look at it that way in order to enjoy this movie. Looking at the way Gareth Edwards intends this movie to be, focusing on the positives, what it's supposed to succeed at, it's a good Godzilla movie. It does a good job of doing that. It's a good Godzilla movie. It's pretty good. I know it says it's supposed to be realistic and grounded. I know they're saying, oh, giant monsters are not realistic, they're still giant, but I see it as this way, like it's more like a thing saying like, oh, what if this did happen, what if these creatures did exist, and they do show it from the humans perspective. They do show it from humans perspectives, points, like areas and that stuff, like camera angles, from low, like to make them look big. The CGI, Bryan Cranston's a good actor, there are still some positives with this movie. And got you got Bryan Cranston here. You got the good classic line, "Let them fight," and the CGI is very good in here. And Godzilla gets his respect this time, and from American audience, from an American company. This is miles beyond the 1998 film. This does a better job as a Godzilla movie, and compared to the 1998 movie, this one curve stomps. It destroys the 1998 movie. If you're comparing Godzilla movies, of course, you know, Godzilla's treated with respect this time. They respect the Japanese movie icon, and they gave him a realistic look. The look is cool. And doing the whole monsters realistic and grounded thing, it's very good. It is a good Godzilla movie, and the thing about the human characters in most monster movies, I have the same reaction where I'm just like, okay, they're just here to carry on the story, But you can have some good characters in a monster movie, like the rest of the Monsterverse I'm about to talk about right now. And in this movie, you got Bryan Cranston in here, and Sarazawa, with his classic lines, like I believe he is that power. you know, you know, let them fight. In terms of the lines, Shirazawa really shines in the movie with that. Ken Watanabe, I believe his name is. And the monster fighting is good, and you got the Mutos, which are cool, unique kaiju, and Gareth Edwards got inspired by them to create those type of kaiju. So yeah, they're pretty cool, and of course, you got Godzilla being cool in here. We got him doing savage stuff like grabbing the Muto with one arm for a split second and then biting her in the neck. Spoiler alert, by the way. Yeah. And then pushing her down into a building, tail whipping the male Muto, and then we also get this moment where Godzilla bites him by his wing and swings him, slamming him into buildings at the same time, and then we get Godzilla's classic cool atomic breath shot where he goes like, and then we got the cool moment where, of course, the moment that every Godzilla fan enjoys, where he opens the female Muto's mouth and basically does a kiss of death fatality and sprays his atomic breath into her mouth and basically kind of holds it like it's a trophy in a way. And not only that, even before that, Godzilla was like very sneaky and stealthy, like a ninja of some sort. And of course, we got his appearance scenes, his build-up scenes. Godzilla got treated with respect in this movie. Sure, he got his butt kicked in the final battle, but he did get his respect is millions of times better than what he got in the 1998 movie. They actually had respect for him this time. So looking at the way it's supposed, and what this film did for the franchise of Godzilla, think about it, guys. If we did not have this movie, you want to know how it would be? We would have never gotten Godzilla King of the Monsters. We would have never gotten the rest of the Godzilla franchise. We would have never gotten the return of a franchise and the return of a character, which is another famous giant movie monster. That character is King Kong, possibly, and we would have never got the rematch to King Kong vs. Godzilla. Godzilla would have just stayed dead in the world of cinema. Toho probably would have not come back and did the movies. Probably. And we would have probably never gotten new Godzilla stuff, no new merchandise, like Godzilla wouldn't have been this popular, and and so on and that stuff. Not even possibly the PS4 Godzilla game, possibly. Maybe. You know, so what this film did for the franchise, thinking about all of this, what this film did for the franchise and all, and how it succeeds the way Gareth Edwards intends it to be, it is a good Godzilla movie. It's not great, it's not awesome, but it's a good Godzilla movie, looking at it that way. I like this movie, it's good. It's a good Godzilla movie, but it's still kind of my least favorite. It's still down there in terms of favorite Godzilla movies, but looking at it all, I have to give this film a 7 out of 10. So I give this film a 7 out of 10. And it is in 4th place. On the left here, you got the whole ultraviolet code thing, so I'm not going to show that. And a funny thing here, too, is that for the DVDs of Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of the Monsters, how come they didn't do the whole 2-disc special edition thing, but they did it with the DVD of GVK? So why, it makes you question, like, why didn't they do that? That makes no sense, but pretty strange what they decided to do there. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, there's Godzilla 2014. So, yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10, it's in 4th place, but that is a strong 7, so, because of what it did for the Godzilla franchise, and it treated Godzilla with respect, this time, and Americans got Godzilla right this time. So yeah, there's that. And here is the next movie in the lineup. 3rd place, 8 out of 10 right here. Kong Skull Island. Now, I obviously prefer this movie over Godzilla 2014 because, it's got charm to it, it's fun, it's kind of hyper a bit, it's fun. It's a fun monster movie, it's action, it has good action scenes, memorable scenes, and it has better characters, you got, Samuel Jackson, John Goodman, and especially John C. Reilly, who was my favorite character in the movie. He's a goofball. He's funny. And you got Samuel Jackson in here, and the creatures in here on Skull Island were pretty cool, unique, and interesting. And Kong himself here is, done good. He's good in this movie. CGI is pretty good, as always, in the Monsterverse, Yeah, there's really not that much to talk about. It's a fun monster movie, good typical story. Oh yeah, of course they do the thing where they do it differently, they do the thing differently, Kong, it doesn't involve him going back to New York. It doesn't involve him, fighting dinosaurs and that stuff. It does something different, like with Godzilla 2014. And like another thing, you can't compare these movies, so because they're meant to be something different, and if you look at them that way, these movies succeed, and they're a good movie in that aspect. And this same thing goes for this. It makes it a good movie in that aspect. And like the fight scenes, the score. Oh yeah, sorry guys, the score in 2014, it was good, it was iconic. The score in here, it's okay. It's decent. I kind of have the same rating for both these soundtracks, but if I would have to say which one's better, I would say 2014, just because it sounds more iconic. It sounds more memorable, but the soundtrack in here is still good, decent in my opinion. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, I really have not that much to say about this one, to be honest, guys. But it is a good monster movie, and I give it 8 out of 10. It gets in 3rd place. So this is the DVD copy I have. Show you the inside. And look at that, that's pretty cool. You get one of those classic shots in the movie. They show the handprint. Nice to get disc art on the DVD disc for once, huh? So yeah, there is Kong Skull Island, 8 out of 10, 3rd place. Then we get to who is in second place. Bum, 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 bum. Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, this is a Blu-ray copy I have. Bought like a couple months ago. I already have this film on DVD before I got this, but I just wanted to own this one because it looked cool. I wanted to. Plus, I really liked the movie. I wanted to collect it. Own both copies. And I like the cover and that stuff. The colors, the color theme in this movie. It's good. And also, I do have the DVD, but I would show that off too, but I already showed it in the previous ranking, and that'll just take up more time. I want to do the short and simple, sort of. So yeah, let's get on to it. Godzilla King of the Monsters. What can I say? Well, you know how I was with 2014, but, I was like, oh gosh, what they're gonna do now? But this is the past, guys, right? When I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like, the first few seconds of the movie, we hear the classic Godzilla roar through the speakers. I was like, oh my gosh. It's just like the nostalgia. And then you got the good original soundtrack. The original soundtrack in this movie is good. It is good. And you got the retro scores, like with the Karafakube, the Mothra theme, the Godzilla theme. It is awesome as a soundtrack in a film. It's great, and I don't care what people say. To me, the scaling feels like it's still there. And, the weight of the monsters and that stuff. And still, the CGI, I don't care what people say. The CGI to me is still okay. It's okay. It does not look as good as Kong Skull or Godzilla 2014, but it still looks okay. It's passable CGI. In this movie is crazy, and I like it when movies go to the crazy meter in terms of like entertainment, like fictional movies like this. It makes it more entertaining, and great action scenes, great fight scenes. I know there's a bunch of cutting away, but to me, I never mind that in Godzilla movies, to be honest, because it always happened. So they always had that, so I'm kind of used to it. And plus, the fighting is good in this movie, so it makes it more passable. It makes you entertained enough. And Godzilla, he's more like Godzilla in this movie. They treat him with even more respect than in 2014. He's a beast, he's a brute, but he's also got a sympathy side to him. He's got he even has the spikes like Toho Godzilla. He has the feet like Toho Godzilla. He looks a bit more bulkier looking as well. His tail looks a little different, which is cool. Like Toho's Godzilla, they show his strength, his durability even more in this movie. They show his power level, and King Ghidorah is great as a villain, and Mothra and Rodan, they're cool too. And I know I'm going to tick off Godzilla fans here, but to me, I was never a big fan of Rodan, Mothra, or King Ghidorah. Like, I really like them, but, not that much. I like them still, but, Rodan I like the most because he was a bad butt in Final Wars. That's why I liked him the most. Mothra and King Ghidorah, they were cool still. But I always preferred monsters like Anguirus, Mecha Godzilla, or Gigan over those guys. I'm sorry, it's just my opinion, but I did like Rodan. I really liked Rodan because of his scene in Final Wars. But they're still all pretty cool, but to me, in my opinion, this movie improved them. I don't care what King Kong 1900 says. He can talk trash about all this movie all he wants, but I don't care. Shout out to him. He still has a cool channel, but still, just, I don't care what he says about this movie. This movie is a good Godzilla movie. I don't care. We all have our own opinions, our different perspectives. After all, when it comes to a movie, we can now have our own opinions. And the original monsters are cool in this. They're cool. And this movie is, it's entertaining. It's fun. It's got a charm to it in a way. it feels like a Godzilla movie, and that's a cool thing. And you got the color effects, which is good. It's this is a very colorful film. I like it all with the colors, how it goes all out with the colors. Like, look at that. You know, it's something about gorgeous to look at. You got classic money making shots like Rodan rising out of the volcano, Godzilla shooting his atomic breath up into the sky. You know, Mothra with her the beautiful color, gold color, yellow color rising. You know, coming out from the clouds and that stuff. How it spreads and that stuff. You know, and you got what else like other things, you know, in the movie, like memorable scenes, you know, you got the retro roars for Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Godzilla. You know, I don't know if Rodan was there, but I'm pretty sure they had one for him too. You know, just, it's good. But the thing about this movie surprised me. It surprised me, not gets an extra point, but it also respects the Godzilla actor as well. The probably the first Godzilla actor who played him, who played Godzilla, and it was cool. And the credit scene, awesome as a credit scene. It's good, it's great. And the fight scenes are good, and references to the Toho Godzilla movies, you know, and you got Burning Godzilla in this movie. Spoiler, you got Burning Godzilla in this movie. You know, it's pretty insane. It's a good Godzilla movie. It's an awesome Godzilla movie, you know, and to me it respected I felt like the childhood Godzilla came back, you know. You know, it felt like my childhood Godzilla character came back, you know, one of my childhood characters came back to the big screen, you know. You know, I never got that with 2014 because of my terrible experience with that movie, but you know how I was with that movie, but you know, that's still, and I had a good time in the theater, you know, watching this movie. It's a great Godzilla movie. Like it. And it gets a 9 out of 10 in second place. There it is, the Blu-ray disc. Focus. Alright. So there it is. Godzilla King of the Monsters, 9 out of 10, second place. Now, you guys can guess what is at number 1. Here it is. The new addition to my DVD and Blu-ray collection and my King Kong Godzilla collection. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I got Godzilla vs. Kong on, I got Godzilla vs. Kong on Blu-ray and DVD, the combo pack. They had a cool stand thing, it showed Godzilla and Kong, one of those cardboard stand things that they showed, but it had the DVD, the 4K Ultra HD copy, and it had this copy. And I like how with different copies of the movie, they showed, different posters. 4K Ultra HD, it's that classic shot where Godzilla and Kong... Godzilla's on top of Kong, he's stomping on him, and he's roaring at him. Kong roars back. That classic scene. And you have... Also, you have Godzilla vs. Kong, the DVD poster. It's that classic shot where Godzilla's doing the Jaws thing, where he's showing the spikes out of the surface, and then Kong's in the city, he's, looking at him. That's one of the first posters, aside from that cliche poster we keep getting where Kong's trying to punch Godzilla, jumping at him. This is what it looks like, but it's way different. It's unique. Yeah, very cool. And... and the positives about this movie, it's a good Godzilla and King Kong movie. And, alright, where do I begin? It carries on stuff that was good in King of the Monsters, which I really like. You got the whole, craziness factor, you got the colors and that stuff. The colors are good, I'm glad it carried on stuff that made King of the Monsters good. And even the retro scores are kind of in here. I know it's new and original themes, but however, if you listen closely, you would hear Godzilla's theme, and you can hear the classic theme going like, bom, 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 bom. It's that scene, and Like, it's that score. And with King Kong's theme, you get like 1976, 1933 Peter Jackson King Kong vibes from his score, you know. And I think there's even like a little reference tune in there. I think there's even like a little reference tune in there from the original King Kong vs. Godzilla. So it's still, in a way, try to do that, which is cool. And also the action scenes are good in this, you know. Got good action scenes. It's got charm to it, you know. It's fun. It's a fun movie, and you know, it's just a good monster movie. And oh yeah, unlike other versus movies, most other versus movies, like, they don't shy away from a winner. They actually show you the winner this time physically. I know it's the whole Batman versus Superman thing kind of again, but at least it's done well this time. Where Godzilla's like, Kong was about to die from Godzilla's wounds, so that still counts, you know. And they did show it right there, right in front of us, that Godzilla was victorious, you know. And I still get some of that epicness and intensity that I got from King of the Monsters. So there's that. And another thing is that this is two actual childhood characters going at it of mine. You know, not even Batman and Superman were childhood characters. I grew up as a Marvel kid. So Freddy versus Jason, Alien versus Predator, no, those guys were not childhood characters. Not Frankenstein's monster and the Wolfman, you know. I know that's technically kind of not a versus movie, but to me, it is. Even the original King Kong vs. Godzilla doesn't stand a chance against this movie. I said it. Because, it's the original's a classic. It's good, but, it does not come close to this, To me, at least, in my opinion, because it's just good to see a modern version of this fight done so well. It's done correctly. It is done correctly, it's... King Kong and Godzilla, they've been evolving as characters ever since, In the original King Kong vs. Godzilla, this is just my own personal opinion. I know you guys are gonna get ticked off, but to me, they both weren't as cool back in the day. Forgive me, guys, if I mess up on words. They both weren't as cool back then, and and King Kong wasn't that much of a character. Neither was Godzilla, And they really didn't get a chance to develop, But now they got full character, and they have been evolving. Kind of getting more powerful each movie. With Godzilla, definitely. But with King Kong, maybe. Not sure, but and. It's good to see a modern version of this fight, and it's two actual childhood characters going at it, fighting each other. It's King Kong versus Godzilla. You can't go wrong with that in terms of crossovers, and also Mecha Godzilla. Mecha Godzilla was done correctly. I like him better I always prefer Gigan and Mecha Godzilla's better villain and cooler villains than King Ghidorah, to be honest, but my opinion, And, Mecha Godzilla was cool in the movie. He was a bad butt. He kicked butt in that stuff. And, he was cool as a villain and savage, and we get to see King Kong actually take on a Godzilla monster, something we've never seen. And also, King Kong and Godzilla were teaming up together. We get them fighting and teaming up in one movie. So that is pretty awesome there in terms of a film. Also, it respects both characters, It gives them, the right character, It respects both characters, It respects both of them as characters. And also, King Kong, it's like comparing Godzilla's from 2014 to Godzilla King of the Monsters, Kong... Major improvement from Kong Skull Island. He has more emotion. He's more of a bad butt. He's also like Peter Jackson's level King Kong, a bad butt in here. He has, scenes to shine in. And, he has more emotions, more character. To me, he seems more of a bad butt. And to me, he feels he feels like more of, he has that underdog and courageous feel to him, which I really like. And Godzilla, probably just as cool as he was in King of the Monsters, probably just as bad, and but he also goes back to his classic roots of being like a force of nature to humanity again. And even though technically he's not the bad guy in that, they still managed to get it in there in some way, which is still good. It still counts as a point. So, and also it feels like King Kong fighting Godzilla. It does not. I know I may sound crazy here, but it's King Kong fighting Godzilla. It feels like it, but it doesn't feel, unlike with these movies right here. It just feels like two different versions of the characters fighting. If they were to fight in that condition, but here, of course you got this as well, Godzilla's coolness carrying on from that movie, King of the Monsters. I'm glad they kept Godzilla like he was in King of the Monsters, And Godzilla goes beast mode in this movie, probably a bit more than in King of the Monsters, which is cool. He blasts a hole into the hollow earth 4,000 miles deep with his atomic breath. And you got Kong using a dang battle axe. Like, this is crazy. And I like it when stuff goes to the crazy meter. And you got good characters like the deaf girl, Gia, I believe. And you got Bernie in here, which, in my opinion, he was funny. He's like a goofball character in a way. And I like goofball characters. And also, the whole story about Kong and Gia, that was interesting. It's something cool, unique, never done in a kaiju movie before. And, you got cool scenes in here. The fight scenes are good. And you got them fighting on a dang aircraft carrier. This is insane. Insane movie. Also, I'm glad they respect both like characters respectively, both the monsters. In terms of characters, this is a fun, good movie. The soundtrack, the original soundtrack is good. In my opinion, the soundtrack rating, this obviously is first place. King of the Monsters remains at first place to me. This is like at third place. This is like at Oh yeah, this is like third place. This is like fourth. But however, in terms of Monsterverse soundtrack ranking, I'll say this is in second place. Because I like in terms of original soundtrack, it beats Kong Skull Island and Godzilla 2014 by a bunch of miles to me. Because I liked some scenes in the movie where it's like the aircraft carrier fight soundtrack. It's cool. And I like the Hong Kong fight, especially that part where Kong's jumping on the building, he's avoiding Godzilla's atomic breath, like bum 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 bum. I really like the soundtrack in this movie, as a soundtrack, of course. Oh yeah, that fight with Mecha Godzilla, that was cool. I like the soundtrack in that fight. And I like the Hong Kong colors and all, They still did bring that emotional element from Godzilla King of the Monsters, some of it, but to me, I didn't really feel it as much as King of the Monsters, but they did show it in that movie. They did show it in the movie, and, Kong and Godzilla, they're both bad butts in this movie. They both are, and I really like that. They didn't make it one-sided. They didn't make King Kong get, like, all the hits in terms of combat. They didn't make Godzilla just go beast mode throughout the entire fight. It's kind of equal, But they did represent it, that Godzilla is the more powerful one, and they did not shy away from a winner this time, so it's a good versus movie. And my favorite versus movie beats Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I kind of don't care. I still count it as a versus movie. Beats the original King Kong vs. Godzilla. Beats Alien vs. Predator. Beats Freddy vs. Jason. Beats Batman v Superman. My opinion. It beats all those versus movies. In my opinion, this is my favorite versus movie. So, yeah. Whew. Oh, yeah, the CGI is better in King of the Monsters in here. And you can actually see everything better than in King of the Monsters, so Yep. So this is a slipcover. In my ranking for the movie, this film is at first place, and it also gets 9 out of 10. It also gets 9 out of 10 because, King of the Monsters packs a punch, but I say this movie is a bit better. It is a bit better. Just because it's King Kong fighting Godzilla. You got two childhood characters going at it of mine, and in a versus movie, and you got them teaming up against Mecha Godzilla. I mean, how cool is that? So yeah, there was a slipcover you saw there, and here it is. You got this cool thing here, the whole digital thing. There it is. It's a digital code thing again. And here you go. You got DVD. I like this right here. This is cool. You got, here you go. You got, for DVD disc, you got Godzilla's footprint, and for the Blu-ray, you got Kong's footprint, which is pretty cool. I like that. That is cool. And let's put this back in. So yeah. That is Godzilla vs. Kong. Best versus movie in my opinion. And in terms of the Monsterverse, it gets first place, a 9 out of 10. So, that is it for my Monsterverse ranking, my re-ranking, I should say. So, yeah, also this stuff gets the monster stuff, more faster, I know it kind of rushes, unlike King of the Monsters, where it takes its time to explain everything, Godzilla vs. Kong doesn't do that, but they both have a positive side with that, But here is my Monsterverse movies, so what do you guys think of all these movies, what do you think of them, what is your least favorite? What is your most favorite out of the Monsterverse? I know 80% of you are going to say Godzilla vs. Kong, because I've seen it everywhere. But still curious, Remember, we're all allowed to have our own opinions, our own perspectives on the movies, how we see them. So, yeah. Of course, if you like the video, be sure to like it, and if you like the content I do on my channel, be sure to subscribe. So yeah, there's that. So, recap, Godzilla 2014, 7 out of 10, 4th place. Kong Skull Island, 3rd place, 8 out of 10. Godzilla King of the Monsters, 9 out of 10, 2nd place. And Godzilla vs. Kong, 9th place, 9 out of 10, and 1st place. So yeah, there's my Monsterverse ranking video, guys. And leave a comment in the comment section below. What do you think of these movies? Which one is your favorite? Again, the whole thing. If you like the content I do on my channel, be sure to subscribe and like the video. Well, like it. So yeah, without further ado, that is it. And stay tuned for my next ranking video, which is, I'll be ranking the fight scenes. So yeah, and as always, McFlurry says, peace out.